Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Miasen and welcome to my Zoodiac deck profile. So it's not my first time making this deck profile. The first one that I made actually on my channel was an IRL deck profile because I actually had most cards to make the deck profile, which is cool. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much all I had to say. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And let's just jump right into the deck profile. So I'm playing one Pankratops because, actually forgot to remove this from my search bar because I just added a Phoenix to my deck, the like extra deck. This was the 15th card. But anyways, I'm playing a Pankratops because, as you can see, it's actually searchable by Asa because it's an Earth monster with like less than 15. So, you know, I just told myself like, it's between I play like one searchable card or like a non-searchable card that's like a bit better, but I don't know, like it actually has synergy in the strategy, and if you draw it going second, well, it's always good. Like, you're drawing it 1 out of 7 games because it's 15% chance going second and 12.5% chance to draw it going first. So yeah, obviously drawing Pankratops when you're going first isn't optimal, but games don't really end, like, they are not really decided like on on turn 1 because it is still a control deck, so it's not going to be dead, which is important. And also you have so much draw power that you can actually draw like into this card like as you're playing, so it's really not that bad, especially when you consider like Upstart and Desires and like all the deck fittings. So yeah, it's pretty good. And also Thorblade can like discard and draw into it, and then you can still special summon it, so it's not like Cyber Dragon where it completely clashes. It's pretty good. I actually really like this card in Zoodiac, so yeah. Also, I play 3 Thorblade, 3 Viper, and 3 Ram. Thorblade, I really don't need to explain this because it's the one Zoodiac that regardless of the amount of copies that you have, it's just never really a brick, because if you draw 3, think about it. It means that you're going like normal, discard 1, draw 1, and then you still have like your other Thorblade as a follow-up, and then like, hey, you can still make, you know, a 3200 Drancia that actually pierces. By the way, Drancia is the old name, like the old Japanese name for like this card that I'm not going to pronounce because it's blasphemy. But yeah, I just call all the cards with their own name. I mean, this is why I also said like Viper. But yeah, very good card. Same thing with Viper. I mean, it's just non-targeting removal, which is really important for this deck because like your main form of removal will be the Drancia, so the fact that you can also just give it like a banishing effect is just really insane. So however, the one like downside to like all of these Zoodiac cards is that like they give the effect to your Zoodiac like Xyz monster. So if your monster is negated, well, you also lose the bonus from like Viper, for example. So not only do you drop to 0 attack, but also they have no effect. So you don't banish anything. It's kind of bait. It's not like as an Xyz material it has that effect. It's just that it gives the effect to the monster. So yeah, but anyways, it's still very good. So yeah, Ram, this is like a monster reborn when it's popped, and very self-explanatory. One really important thing with this card that people forget a lot, is that while it is an Xyz material, if you're getting targeted by a trap, you can actually detach a material not once per turn to negate and destroy that trap. And the reason why this is so important is because if you have a Drancia with a Ram underneath, they can't just use Infinite, Lost Wind, and Compulse. So, you know, it shuts down a lot of really powerful trap cards. And this is the reason why this deck can still kind of play through traps going second. It's just because like cards like these, if it gets popped on the normal summon, it's not that bad because you revive back a monster from your grave and you keep playing. And if, you know, they wait until you do like an Xyz monster to like try to interrupt your plays, then you can actually detach material, and then you can actually also go straight into Drancia. So yeah, Ram is definitely one of the better materials, and even when it's not a material, it's actually, I want to say, probably one of the best cards, if not the best card, alongside Drancia, to revive back off of Laika, which is the old name of Chakanine, or Chakanine. Very weird names, but yeah, very good card. One Rat, of course, on the summon it's a Foolish Burial, and it also has another effect which is 100% irrelevant, because it allows you to special summon like a Rat from your deck, but Rat is at 1. Sad times. I remember the good old days with Inferno Zoodiac. That's probably one of my favorite decks of all time. I mean, it's in my top 3, alongside Draco Foes and Cyber Dragons. But yeah, one Rabina, or Bunny Blast. Basically, it has like a similar effect as Ram, but like for spells instead of traps, and also instead of reviving something from your grave, it actually adds back a card, a Zoodiac card from your grave to your hand. And the reason why this is relevant is because it is one of the only ways to actually recycle the barrage from your grave to your hand. And now you might be wondering why this still seems like very hard to do, but no, it's actually not that hard, because your rat will actually send Bunny Blast turn 1, and then you'll do like revive back Bunny Blast, and then you can Drancia pop it, revive back, like recycle back your rat from your grave to your hand, and then next turn you go normal rat, send the barrage, and then you make revive back Bunny Blast, crash the Bunny Blast, recycle back barrage, and then, you know, after only one turn, your rat already snowballed into 2 Xyz monsters. No, actually that's a lie. 1 Xyz monster and a barrage that you haven't used yet. So if you can pop like a Tenki or Ram, you're like in everything. It's actually sick. And yeah, barrage on Ram or barrage on Bunny Blast. Oof. Actually, you need to take a shower after you do that. Yeah, for the hand traps, I'm playing 9. I am not playing DD Crow and what's his face again? There's another one, Nibiru, huh? Yeah, Nibiru was there. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan right now. I mean, DD Crow is still good, to be honest. It's just against Adamantia, it's not too great. And against Eldritch, well, you can also play Cosmic Cyclone. Although, you know, at this point, you can also kind of argue, like, I don't know, maybe DD Crow would be just as good. But then there's Altergeist rising in popularity, so you have to, like, kind of slow down on the hand traps and play with, like, more back row removal in a way. So this is why this, for me at least, it wasn't like a Cyclone before. Or if you really disagree with this, then you can kind of cut Solemn Strike, but we'll get into this later. 3 Veiler. There is also like the sister of Ghost Ash. Her name is like Ghost something Autumn, like, no, Ghost Spring? I forgot the season. I don't even know anything. But yeah, it's basically like the Veiler version of the Ghost Sisters. It's really bad because it's once per turn, but I'm pretty sure it says discard and not send, so you can still use it under Herald, but then like it'll just get negated. So it's really not that good. And also it only negates the special summon monsters and not just like any normal summons. So if they go like normal Deep Sea effect, like Deep Sea Diva, you can't just negate that. So Veiler and Infinite are just, you always have to play 3 Veiler and 3 Infinite because before you start playing that card. Yeah. Then 3 Desires, 3 Avarice, that's a really good one. I forgot to play it on my last deck profile. It wasn't like intentional. I swear I forgot that card also went back to 3. You know, just to prove that I'm really dumb, but Pot of Avarice is a fantastic card. Especially when you can just vomit all your links on top of your first monster, and then you can just recycle back 5, draw 2, and then... Yeah, it's like... It's just 2 benefits in 1 card. I love it so much. You get back your resources, and you draw 2. And it's on once per turn. So, like, can you ask for any better? And the fact that it's at 3 is just like, what? You don't even feel bad when you just, like, vomit all of your cards turn 1 just to make a Gravity Controller to send them to the grave just so you can draw 2 cards. So hopefully I'll be able to showcase this on my test hand video, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make a combo video. I don't think it's worth it for a deck like Zoodiac. There are a few combos to showcase for sure, 100%. It's just, I don't think I can make like a long enough video to, yeah, to warrant like considering it to be a combo video, so yeah. 3 Tenki, of course, obviously. I mean, it is once per turn, so, you know, if you draw 2 or 3 Tenki, then rip. But, no, it's a really good card. And also, when you draw, like, Tenki and 4 utility cards, the best card to search is Rat, because it is the one card that snowballs single-handedly. And if you draw Tenki with Ram or Tenki with Thorblade, I like to search the other one, because Thorblade Ram is probably, like, I want to say probably one of the best things that can happen to you, because then you can Thorough, discard Ram, draw 1, and then revive back the Ram, and then if you draw like a Barrage because you're skillful at Yu-Gi-Oh!, then you get to pop the Ram, revive back a Thoroughblade, special summon back a monster from your deck, and then either use the Thoroughblade's effect that you revive back from your grave, or like, I guess the one that you special summon from your deck, discard 1, draw again. So you see, you can actually use the effect of Thoroughblade like multiple times in one turn, like 3 times. The normal summon, the revival from Ram, and the special from Barrage. And yeah, it's just really insane. So yeah. 3 Infinite, I mean, I already explained that. 3 Seasonal Direction of the Zoodiac Beasts. Yes, again. Basically, this card is kind of like a Pot of Avarice, but as a trap card. But there is one really interesting thing about it. It's that the fact that it's a quick effect, well, obviously, since it's a trap, obviously, it allows you to dodge like back row, grave removing cards. For example, like DD Crow called by the grave, because let's just say you're going like Chakanine revive back a monster from your grave, like Laika, I mean, yeah. And then they go like DD Crow, and then you can just chain Zoodiac Seasonal Direction, and then like, yeah, sure, you don't get to revive anything since you shoveled it back, but at least your monster doesn't get banished, because if they target your Drancia, and it actually does get banished, you're dead. You're 100% dead. Like, the game will be over, because I don't think this deck can grind very well without your, like, key link monsters, so in one game, you can definitely use the effect of Drancia, like, I want to say it solid like 7 times. It's like, I mean, you can summon it like so much. So using just the effect of this card, oh my god, it's gonna happen multiple times in one turn. And it is very grindy. I mean, when it was the best deck back in 2017, it's because it was grindy and because it was super consistent. And now, I don't want to say it's less consistent, even though it kind of is, but it is definitely less grindy because you don't have Broad Bowl. Okay, so yeah, it is less consistent, and it is less powerful because you don't have 3 Drancias, so you can't just turn like an already established board into more. It's just you're kind of always like in the same position, so this is why it's just very slow-paced control. But yeah. This card is just really good at outplaying your opponent, I want to say, is the correct term. So yeah, Solemn Strike, this is just a fantastic card when you're going second. It is really that good going second. It's not just a card for going first. Like, I don't understand people who just keep saying, oh, purple cards suck going second, don't play them in a deck. Worst logic ever. I mean, especially from a guy who played 19 traps in a going second deck. I can tell you this is a super dumb logic, so yeah. For the extra deck, I'm playing 1 Dweller, 3... the Dweller, I guess, is just... I wanted a rank 4, and Tornado just didn't seem too great going first. And going second, well, I can just make Phoenix, so, you know, why? And I didn't have space for, like, that many cards, so Dweller just seemed like it was probably one of the best picks, so... Yeah, 3 Tigress and 3 Laika, 1 Hammer Kong and 1 Borbo and with 1 Drancia. I mean, the 3 ofs are obviously obvious because they're the only cards that kind of have effects. Hammer Kong for me is just a vanilla. His effect is incredibly bad. And Borbo, it has 2 effects. One of them is an absolute joke that I won't read. If you ever resolve it, send me a clip of you resolving Borbo's effect, and I will personally give you a shout out. And if I had a $1 million check, I would probably give it to you because it's probably the most hilarious thing that ever happens in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think it happened like 3 times in history, and yeah, I think the opponent was probably playing something really bad like Ice Barrier or something really bad. By the way, they might be getting a structure deck. Oh, maybe Ice Barrier tier 0, we never know, huh? But yeah, the other effect is that it's basically Hayate, it gets to attack directly, so yeah. And then Drancia is obviously the really big one, destroys any face-up card on the field, including face-up spells and traps, not just monsters, but it has to be face-up, doesn't destroy face-down, so... The huge issue, the huge flaw of this deck is just people who set a monster and set 5 back row pass. You're just like, come on. The only way you can kind of navigate through this is if you have a Ram underneath to play around the trap cards, and then like either attack directly, or you go for Viper and banish that face down monster, because I know back in the days one really terrifying thing was setting a Dupe Frog, and this deck just... outside of actually having a Viper, it would just make your opponent plus, and then they would be able to break your board, make a Toad, and then you would die. So yeah. And then 2 MEGACLOPS, I mean, 3 Xyz monsters, but what it does is really self-explanatory in a deck that can easily summon multiple Xyz, especially when you revive them back with Laika. So MEGACLOPS with 3 Xyz monsters, it is unaffected by every monster effects and cannot be destroyed by monster effects, but these 2 conditions are only as long as your opponent is not using a Xyz monster to threaten it. And also, once per turn, you can target like 1 card your opponent controls and 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard. You revive back that monster and you attach that card your opponent controls to your monster, but... I think MEGACLOPS or all monsters you control only deal half battle damage or something like that. Wait, hold on, sorry. Any damage your opponent takes is halved. So yeah, it's just you're gonna deal less damage, but it's just for the remainder of the turn. So you can go like MEGACLOPS attack for 4k, and then on main phase 2 you revive back something, attach like a face down card your opponent controls or something that annoys you, and then it basically belongs to you. And a lot of people actually fold to MEGACLOPS because they don't have any main deck win conditions against this card. They just cannot out it. It has too much attack. It is just unaffected by so many things. I mean, a lot of people just don't play the resourceful spells and traps because their deck is very combo heavy, and then they just see something with 4K and they cry. Yeah, so beautiful. Phoenix, Ossa. Ossa is the Earth version of Yita. I already mentioned this quite a lot of times, but the fact that it can search so many cards also in your deck. You can play Scapegoat, by the way, with Ossa and Mrs. Radiant, which is very cool. Or if you have space for like Link Spider and stuff like that, you can do some Link plays, although I'm not a really big fan. I would probably just make Ossa and I don't even know. And maybe, I don't know, Masquerena into Unicorn, that just seems super expensive. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few really cool, cute plays that you can do, so card's really sick. Gravity Controller, I mean, this is just... it's just really good, honestly. The fact that you can turn also any monster into a card that's like a Neospatian Grand Mole. You can see that, yeah, it is a Neospatian Grand Mole if it battles a monster in the extra monster zone, but if it battles a monster in the main monster zone, then it is Marshmallow. So, yeah, every card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is anything. And then for the idea section, then Nibiru, whatever. Okay, oh my god, I'm really bad at pronouncing names. Ancient Warrior Loyal Guan Yun. Yeah, sorry, every Mongolian or whatever people I just offended. I don't even think this is Mongolian, maybe actually. Or maybe it's just Chinese or Korean and I'm actually extremely stupid. Or maybe I'm even dumber and it's Japanese, but they do look like Mongolian soldiers. But anyways, this card is really sick because when you're going second, it's almost like a Pankratops. If your opponent only... No, actually, sorry. It's exactly like a Cyber Dragon. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it. And if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can, like, destroy a monster your opponent controls. So that's actually a really powerful effect. But most importantly, it has the Ancient Warrior name. And this card right there, Ancient Warrior Shuanglong, you can summon it by using 2 Beast Warriors you control. So very easy since everything is a Beast Warrior. However, it has to include a Wind Ancient Warrior monster, and once you summon this card, the game is over. You win the game because it has one of the most ridiculously powerful effects I have personally ever read on a Link 2 monster. It's just that it is extremely hard to summon in a deck that isn't Ancient Warrior. So it's I don't want to say I want to compare it to Double Helix, because Double Helix was a proactive card, so you can play it going first and explode, whereas the Ancient, like this card is just like easier to make going second, since you just, you know, it's a Cyber Dragon and then normal summon and then boom boom. But yeah, absolutely disgusting card. It is an interruption, and in its own deck, it's even better. So you can definitely count on that. I will be making an Ancient Warriors deck profile very soon. Don't worry. I have just been super overwhelmed by exams and life. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm filming this at 12:13 a.m. right now. So I'm technically Tuesday, because I always like, you know, like schedule my uploads to be like 8 a.m. on my time because I live in Canada. And yeah, it's just crazy. My brain is just not working anymore. I had like 8 hours of exams like in a row. And yeah, I really need some sleep. And I just, like, I had to make a video. So I was like, what am I going to do? Oh, Zoodiac update. Let's go for that. But yeah, when I'm going to have more free time, I'm just going to explore new decks. I know I want to make the Rocket deck real soon. So that's definitely what I'm going to do. But yeah, one final thing that I have to talk about is Time Thief Winder. If you also want to play that with more like level 4 extenders such as Shade Brigandine, whatever, just turn this into like not just a Drancia pass, but also a Drancia plus rank 4 pass. That is definitely something you can do. It's really interesting as well. But yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say for the Zoodiac deck profile. If you have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. And once again, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more videos like these, because, you know, it motivates me, and yeah, it just motivates me, and it probably does a bit more, but it motivates me a lot. Anyways, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Peace!